Welcome to the CoinSec podcast. On this week's episode, Mike and Steve are back from Black Hat and DEF CON. We talk about Microsoft's new blockchain as a service tool. A new blockchain red team tool was dropped at DEF CON called Tineola. A hacker's bail was set to be paid in cryptocurrency, and AT&T was sued for not protecting someone from a SIM swapping attack. All that and more on episode number 28 of the CoinSec podcast.
Once you secure your assets,
we can crack the wallet.
Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs, character adversary, attribution mode.
With our private keys combined,
building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably secure.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto. CoinSec podcast. The CoinSec podcast is a podcast about cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies with a focus on securing them. Don't let the hum of our dual-purpose crypto miner / password crackers in the background disrupt your listening pleasure. Today, I'm your host, Bo Bullock, and I have with me the one and only Mr. Mike Felch. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's up? Actually, it is literally the only, not necessarily the only Mike Felch, but the only person here.
That's true. Yeah. Sadly, I'm like 99% sure that Ralph isn't going to show up tonight. He might. I mean, I think he's off at like some kind of like pen tester like daycare or something.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm like 1% sure that Steve won't make it.
Mm-hmm. So he should be here. You'll hear the doo-doo pretty soon. So Steve shall join us tonight, from what we understand. But for now, it's just it's me and you, man. So, dude, you've been out of Vegas. We missed last week because you and Steve were out in Vegas. I'm gonna totally blame you guys on that one because, you know, like I'm a little jealous I missed it. You know, I'm jealous I wasn't there.
You should be. I mean, we had a blast. We we're right across from each other. We got to hang out. We got to grab coffee together. Dude. So I'm falling asleep in this training class, not necessarily because the class was that bad, but just because I was sitting at the front. I was tired. I stayed up late, and so I'm proctoring this training class for this class that I'm going to be teaching for Teal Tech or whatever. But Steve literally leaves his class, grabs me a cup of coffee, brings it into my class, walks it to the very front of the class, puts it on my desk, gives me dap, and then leaves. And I'm like,
that is service totally right there.
Would have never done that. I wouldn't even have walked into his class just because.
Did he get questioned at all? Like, dude, I mean,
no, dude. He walked in like a boss, dude. He didn't care.
I mean, no trainer badge or anything because he was teaching, right?
Yeah, but the trainer badges looked exactly the same. Besides, one says training, one says trainer. So you wouldn't even known. But it was just funny. Like, dude just walks in front of the whole entire class and was just like, boom. See ya.
Did everyone look at him and
I don't know. Like I was nervous for him. Do you remember in school, like when you're like late to school, like late to class, and you have to walk in front? Like I would just skip the whole class.
Yeah.
I would skip because I was always that guy that I just can't. I don't know. Like, let's say I'm introverted, but like in some circumstances, I guess I am.
For sure. No, I understand. I totally understand that. Did you go to any of the blockchain talks while you're out there?
I didn't do any of the talks. I went to the Monero Village, which was pretty cool.
The Monero Village, yes. We talked. We mentioned that on the podcast. So what was going on in the Monero Village?
You know, I don't really know too much. I think they had some talks, and I think they had a big party. But I actually went there before the village was technically open. So if you bought a Monero badge, you could go there to pick it up early, and that's kind of when I went there. I didn't get a badge, but I just went there to check it out before it got super packed.
Does the badge mine Monero?
No, but I thought I talked about that. I thought we were talking about doing a CoinSec badge.
CoinSec badge. Yeah.
We'll do a Monero miner badge. No, it didn't. Awesome. That'd have been pretty cool. But you know, this year I didn't really do DEF CON. In fact, I don't even think I went down there on Saturday. I literally just hung out with friends, hung out with family. Did the Vegas thing with the family, but I don't know, man. I don't think I'm gonna do DEF CON next year.
Was it just too packed? Was it too busy?
I'm just saying the whole. I don't know. It's just been too long. It's just not really cool anymore, I guess.
Well,
It is super
to put it in perspective, last year we literally stayed in the same spot the entire
We did.
time. We
So I
did
think that was good.
the bomb defusing challenge last year, which was
Yes.
epic.
Yeah, and this year the bomb was broke for like the first half of Friday, and
Mhm.
so in the afternoon they got it working. I don't know. I just wasn't in. Wasn't in the mood for it.
Wasn't
I mean
feeling
that, and then no. I mean I didn't have my partner. He sold out.
Hey,
I mean,
hey,
oh, sorry,
come
right
on,
here.
man.
No, I'm just kidding. No, like they didn't fix the line, so new teams still got to go first.
Mm.
And then evidently you could set the bomb into some suspended mode where the timer wouldn't count down. So you had new teams just sitting there looking at nothing for 15 minutes.
Mhm.
The combination of those two things just wasn't. I don't know.
So the thing that we did last year, and I think this is I'm pretty sure one of your life mottos, and I've kind of taken it into my own life, is fail fast and fail forward. And that was our goal last year. Like, figure out the things that are going to break, and then learn what caused that problem, and then move forward.
Yes.
But like with people just taking 15 minutes, like just analyzing, they're not learning anything.
Exactly, and they're just burning time and making it, I don't know, not fun for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was kind of the problem. That, and I just wasn't in the mood for DEF CON. I wasn't in the mood for Lions. I don't go to talks anyway. The escalator was broke again. They had to wait and figure that out again. And I don't like.
I wonder if it was one of the ones that we found that 0 day for that one time.
Oh yeah. Oops. No, and then like I have a lot of respect for a lot of goons that are friends of mine. But there are a lot of goons too that take their job too seriously and expel their authority over people in the way that they communicate and yell. And I don't like that. It makes me want to throat punch somebody.
And there's a lot of drama around just the hotel in general.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. So that.
Yeah. So we probably don't need to talk about it on this podcast, but anyways, so Black Hat though, you did enjoy Black Hat besides your training. You went to a couple talks, right? You went to Arsenal, I think. Right?
I did go to Arsenal. I did check it out. There was some cool stuff there. But I got there right when they were taking a break, so I got to see the tail end and then in the front beginning of their presentations. And it was just, I didn't want to fight through the crowd just to kind of get close.
Was it busy?
It was pretty
Okay.
slammed.
So
it was hard enough to walk through there.
So for me, last year was the first time I got to go to Arsenal. I presented Mail Sniper last year at Arsenal, and I hung out around the Arsenal area pretty much the whole year last year because I love finding like the latest and greatest, newest tools that come out. And we're going to do a Tradecraft episode about this exact thing, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But
Sure.
I really enjoy seeing the new, latest and greatest tools, and that's where they typically get dropped.
Right.
And I mean, but so watching remotely though, I saw a lot of cool stuff come out of it. I saw, a few different tools, few new techniques that I thought were really neat. I was super jealous not to be there hanging out with you guys, but I don't know, maybe DerbyCon we can hang out.
I think I'm probably only going to go for one day if I go.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to go for the entire thing. So probably fly in and fly out just because I don't know. I got all kinds of stuff coming up this quarter. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out for sure.
All right. So I guess we can start moving on to cryptocurrency stuff.
Yeah.
So we've seen kind of like a crazy roller coaster ride over the last couple weeks. I mean, we didn't film an episode last week, but the markets have been like, they were tanking last week. It was bad. And I'm pretty sure we saw sub $200 billion market cap, which is pretty low. But today it's actually made a little bit of a recovery. I think we're back up to 216 billion. Today is August 17th for those who are listening, by the way, of the year 2018. Bitcoin is at $6,517. Ethereum's at 302, and Ripple is at 32 cents. So, like some of these odd coins. I'm looking at CoinMarketCap right now and looking at like the change in the last 24 hours, and there's some really interesting ones that are spiking that I've never heard of. Like, haven't heard of Cortex before, which has jumped 55% in the last 24 hours.
VeChain. almost 37%.
I have heard of VeChain. That's one of the ones that I originally thought was going to be pretty interesting. Populous is in there is one of the higher ones. Bitcoin Private, surprisingly, is up there. So we definitely talked about them on the show before. They've had a 31% growth in the last 24 hours.
Ontology? Have you heard that?
Isn't that like the medical thing? Like,
Sounds like it.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Almost 46%. Yeah, that's the crazy part about this, man. And like, it goes up and down.
Yes, until November.
Until November. Yeah.
Yep. Then it just goes up.
Hopefully.
Well, if history repeats itself, that's been the kind of like historical track. For some reason, at the end of the year, November, December timeframe, it jumps, and it has historically. So, not saying like I'm definitely not your advisor of financial gain here, but that's just historically how it's been. I can see right now that Mr. Steve Borish has joined us. I think he's still. Ding. Let's see if he turns his mic on and can say hi to us.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Ooh, long time no hear.
Yeah, man. So Steve, we basically did a quick little recap about Black Hat and DEF CON. I was kind of sad, to miss the whole thing. I was telling Mike that. So, what did you do any of like the blockchain talk stuff out at Black Hat DEF CON this year out in Vegas?
No, I was there, but I feel like I missed all of the fun stuff because I was working the whole time. So,
and you lost your phone.
And I lost my phone with Bitcoin on it.
Oh no! Did you have a backup?
Oh yeah, I sure didn't.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Yep. Practice
man.
what you preach, right?
Yeah, that's I actually saw there's some news story that happened while you guys were out in Vegas about some phone thief. So I wonder if that was a thing. I wonder if that was there was somebody like just like walking up and like blatantly stealing phones. So
no, I'm pretty sure mine just fell out of my pocket getting in and out of a cab. So, yeah, but luckily I was able to remote wipe it and
nice
and make sure nobody got the coins that I can never have now either.
Nice. We'll just destroy those. Nobody will ever need to see those.
That's right. So chalk that up into the void of Bitcoins that have gone down the tube. So, but overall it was a good trip. A lot of work, a lot of hard work and time walking to and from the venues and stuff like that. I did get to see Mike, so that was good.
I know Mike was telling us the story about you bringing him coffee.
Yep. he was on the struggle bus there for a while.
Oh man. Yeah?
Yeah, he was a little tired, so I came and gave him a little pick me up.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. So we just did the values, and we were just talking about how it's a roller coaster ride again. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to the pricing or anything this week?
No, it's been kind of a crazy dip. So I did kind of buy the dip this time around. I got some more ZRX or the 0x token. So I'm hoping that like a few weeks ago they came out, Coinbase said that they were looking into listing those tokens. So I bought the dip and got a few of those. So we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed, but you never know.
Nice. Yeah, I think Coinbase had said they're thinking about looking into them. Like they were trying to be super vague about it because they listed like them, Cardano, some of the other ones. And I remember they were like, when that happened, they were like, just to put this out there, just in case you happen to see like a parameter come up in an API somewhere that mentions this, don't go like freaking out. Like Coinbase is, adding this. We're doing some research, but
sure. Yeah, they did cause quite the pump there for a while, and I'm not sure if I totally agree with their methodology and kind of letting people, think that the stuff was going to get listed. I don't know. So I guess we'll see in the long run.
Yeah, and what was funny about that is they didn't list Ripple. which
Uh-huh.
everyone's like, oh, they're gonna add Ripple soon. It's like the next biggest coin to come on Coinbase. Yeah, they're probably not gonna do that.
Probably not.
soon.
Makes you wonder if there's a way that you could influence a bunch of people to think something about a coin being on there. Like I heard Coinbase was going to be starting to pick up Ravencoin, but I haven't seen any signs of it.
Really?
Just kidding.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Like, because none of us are mining Ravencoin at all.
Just kidding.
Okay, so moving on to the news for the week. All right, so first story is Microsoft's new Ethereum blockchain product is allegedly getting rid of mining. So does that mean they're moving to like a proof of stake model, I suppose? So
No,
no?
it's weird.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't even get it. But go ahead. Sorry.
So from this article, they're debuting a new blockchain as a service product that allows businesses across industry verticals to deploy a flexible instance of Ethereum tailored specifically for enterprise environments. So they've done this before though with Azure. I know this because I just looked, like it was a couple, maybe like last week I was adding in like the Bing API for Recon NG, and one of the things there was blockchain, like on Azure. So what is different from this, I'm wondering, than their other Azure blockchain product?
Great question.
Yeah.
The other one was proof of work, though.
Okay, gotcha.
If I remember right. So there's two options. If you try to enroll, which I started to, but my burner credit card wouldn't work, and I'm not using my real one because I don't want to forget to cancel it and then get charged a bunch of money.
Right.
So what I was trying to do was spin up this Ethereum Proof of Authority Consortium, whatever it is. And so they have these two different options where I guess you can choose to do the traditional proof of work, which is what they've traditionally had for a while. And then now they're doing this new, because I guess their idea is that if you're going to spin up like an enterprise blockchain, then it's going to be legit. You're going to know everybody that's on there. And there's not really a big reason to do proof of work, right? Because you're not going to have a bunch of miners kind of verifying transactions. So their attempt at it was to introduce this thing, proof of authority, which I guess technically is proof of stake in some, I guess, if I understand proof of stake. So in this case, what they're saying is it's just an internal instance of it where the users can be provisioned and you can kind of have some sort of interaction with transactions in a way that you could vote. You could like let somebody else use your vote or however you delegate it. I don't know. It sounds like just a pretty decent database with some sort of transaction logs or audit history.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I don't really see anything else. I don't know how it's decentralized. I mean, so it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it seems that way. Well, I mean, I guess we'll see as it comes out more. Maybe there will be some more guides on it in the future.
Yeah, I don't know why if you had a private blockchain like this, why you would want proof of work anyways, because it'd just be more overhead that you would have to deal with. So I think the proof of authority consortium would probably be a more viable solution. It looks like maybe that with the votes that you get, kind of like your percentage of the network versus the mining.
Sounds pretty much the same thing you could do with a database on the front end. No?
But it's blockchain.
Yes.
Sure.
We need a little bell that we can ring every time somebody says blockchain.
Or shots.
Drink.
All right. So, I mean, I guess the main thing that's cool there, right, is Microsoft adopting more blockchain application, which is kind of cool.
I think that's great. I think to see big companies investing resources and money into doing stuff like this, especially like the Microsofts and the Amazons, it's hard to make an argument that blockchain is going to die when you see Microsoft investing resources at something like this.
Mm-hmm. for sure. All right. So our next story is Duo security researchers' Twitter bot is basically they did this research, right, that looked for Twitter bots just in general, and they found a huge cryptocurrency botnet. So yeah, did you guys see this one?
Yeah,
Yes.
88 million public Twitter accounts.
That's crazy. Like, how many total Twitter accounts are there?
Ooh, that's a good
The
question.
world may never know.
1, 2.
So what were they? I haven't seen, like, what were they identifying on? Like, how do you identify that something's part of a botnet on Twitter?
They have a white paper.
Okay, so it's complex, probably.
Yeah, they're using traditional like data science algorithms, and then looking at it from certain components, I guess metadata, and then they're looking at probably semantic, some sort of text on what's happening. And then they were able to discover that within the bots, I guess there were also the other bots that not upvote, but like it and retweet it. You know, the traditional, we see Elon Musk tweeting, and then next thing you know, we see how they respond so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it shoots up the likes.
Sure. So like the 88 million are the ones liking it. So like, I guess they have to like rein that in though, right? Because you can't like just have 88 million likes. That would probably stick out.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so I mean, you have 88 million public profiles. You get all the information, like who they're following, who's following them, the tweets. I guess they were looking at the last 200 tweets or some last subset of tweets. And then if you know what bots look like manually, you could, because data science is going to be split up into like supervised versus unsupervised. Supervised meaning I know what a real bot looks like. So if I could tag a real bot and I could train my data models on what real bots look like, then you'll be able to spot fake ones. Versus unsupervised meaning I have no data points to kind of look at, and let's just let this cluster the accounts together and then figure out if we could determine which ones are bots versus not. So it's probably taking like a supervised approach, because I mean, you know, it's easy to kind of find what the bots, right? Just go to the last Elon Musk tweets, the last McAfee tweets, the last
you see a ton of them. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. So you just train.
Everyone's throwing like not giving away ETH in their Twitter handle now.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so they say typically you can see these bots based on like similar tweets across different accounts, but that these were a little bit different, and they had to map out the social connections, and they turned out to be like non-joined apparently. So they were like separate bots working together. And they didn't have the same, I guess that they didn't fit the same algorithm. So it's kind of unique. This article on TechCrunch provides a pretty neat relational graph. That
this is how like Skynet starts. Yeah, when the bots start working together, when all the Twitter bots start working together like on their own, that's when Skynet starts.
This is the building of our next, cognizant mindset on the internet. You know, it's going to start thinking for itself. Sure.
Jesus, that's crazy. Okay,
and it's going to start refuting McAfee claims immediately.
Oh man, that's a road I don't know if we need to go down. Oh man, the BitFi stuff. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, I was out the last couple of weeks, so unfortunately I've been kind of traveling a lot, and I didn't get to see if you guys covered that in the last episode or not.
We didn't do an episode last week. So he was on the last one we were on though, right? Like Steve, you were on 2 weeks ago, I think, before you went to Black Hat.
It was been a few weeks ago.
The last one we did was 2 weeks ago, I think. So,
well, they won a Pony Award at Black Hat for latest vendor response.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It gets to a point where you've hacked it enough that you call it hackable. You know.
I gotta say, whether I know there was some rumors around them, or maybe some tweets that they made about talking like that to get a free pen test or whatever. I can tell you, you're only going to beat up a device so hard before that thing comes out like gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying I support what they did or what they're doing or how they're going about their business model, but after you have a bunch of researchers tear your product apart, humiliate it, stomp it into the ground, and if you can recover from that, man, that's going to be a beast of a device. That's pretty much how
True.
iPhone got so solid now. I mean, it got beat up for all the way up until like iPhone 5. iPhone 5C, I think, is when it pretty much stopped.
So I don't know if I've seen everything that's come out about the Bit 5, but some of the latest stuff I saw were more like they didn't actually obtain the Bitcoin from the device. Like they didn't like get them, and that was the big thing McAfee was all about, right? But there were a ton of supply chain problems. Like they were able to like change the interface on the device to make it say different stuff, or like send it to a different address.
Yeah, you could change the interface. I saw somewhere they were changing changing how the transactions were being sent and stuff like that. The actual sending and receiving through the APIs.
I think it was Cyber Gibbons tweeted to one of the guys like if I sent you one of these, would you use it? And the guy was like, I wouldn't use anything you sent me. Of course.
I think the last thing that I saw was something about the certificate pinning wasn't actually validating the certificate, or there's something regarding the certificates. The validation was like non-existent.
Yeah, so he's able to intercept SSL, right?
Yeah, it was something weird. I don't remember exactly what it was about. It was just something about they swore certificate pinning or something, and they weren't really validating it.
Well, anyways, that wasn't even like one of our stories, but it turned out being one. So the next story we got is AT&T is being sued for $224 million over cryptocurrency theft. So this is one of those SIM swapping stories where, like we've talked about it a few dozen times now on the show. Like I think in the cryptocurrency community, like honestly, I haven't heard many other stories outside of cryptocurrency where this has been like a big deal. I'm sure it happens. I'm sure people have their number stolen for other reasons, to get into like Facebook accounts or something stupid, right? I don't know what the kids get into these days, but I mean, it seems to be very prevalent in the cryptocurrency world, and this was a case where what's his name? His name is Michael Turpin, an entrepreneur and investor who was a founder of the Transform Group. He had a number of high-profile ICOs, including Ethereum, Golem, and Gnosis. Yeah. Apparently, he went to court over the theft of 3 million coins in January of 2018. And at the time of the theft, the coins were worth over $24 million. So he's looking to sue for an additional $200 million in punitive damages against AT&T. So yeah, who knows what they're going to do with that? But it's interesting to see like somebody's actually like trying to fight back after the SIM swapping thing. I mean,
so was this a targeted attack against this guy, or was it just a general? Yeah,
I would imagine.
So, was he suing for an attack against him? Or
no, he's suing AT&T for not protecting him in the SIM swapping
attack. Is it
attack.
him?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was a victim of SIM swapping.
Yes.
It's not that AT&T. Okay, because I did, when I read the article, I don't know, for some reason I thought that he was just kind of like punching back on behalf of his users or something, because he launched some of the ICOs, and so I guess I just read into it too much, but. So he had 24 million stolen then.
Yep. Yeah. So how do you have 24 million of account stuff tied to your phone? I mean, I lost, a little bit in Vegas, but it certainly wasn't $24 million worth. And why would you keep that on your mobile device or have your accounts?
Well, so I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be on his mobile device, right? I mean, it's
your accounts.
He's getting into his phone number, which will probably allow the attacker to just reset his passwords from his email, and then from there he was able to reset probably like whatever other exchanges the guy had access to. And if he had his own ICO, he that could have been like domain level kind of access, right? I mean, like if let's say that I started an ICO and I had my own business here, and I had my own like domain where I was running, like where I had everything here at my house, like you could go reset, I don't know, like all kinds of stuff, like I would imagine. So
It's true.
Yeah, I would think two-factor would help prevent some of that.
But if it's through SMS, you're not going to be able to.
So here's a good quote from the complaint. What AT&T did was like a hotel giving a thief with a fake ID a room key and a key to the room safe to steal jewelry in the safe from the rightful owner. So, yeah, he's bitter about it.
I would be too.
Yeah.
I hope my phone never gets hacked and all of my Bitcoin never gets stolen. Because I will sue T-Mobile.
I will sue somebody. Yeah, this would set quite the precedence, wouldn't it?
It's such a hard thing. I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen with this. I mean, think about this. He's either out $24 million and no repercussions against AT&T for the negligence, or he just opened up a whole new attack surface for scammers. Right? Because now a scammer could just be like, oh, well, I had this on my account, and here's the proof, and I just, and then pay some kid on the back burner to kind of SIM swap them.
Mm-hmm.
Or just do it himself.
Yeah.
Seems like that could be a pretty bad day.
All right, next up. This was a big story, I think. The foreshadow flaw, right? So what the flaw means for the future of cryptocurrency. So this was a new vulnerability discovered in Intel's SGX, right? Software guard extensions, the secure like enclaves of the processor, right?
Yep.
So it's supposed to be tamper-proof, right? The secure enclave. So apparently there's a bug that it makes it not so secure. Honestly, I haven't read enough about this to probably talk about it. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the attack. I just seen how it was used.
I think the bigger thing is that it's a hardware-based flaw, right? That is going to affect many of like the hardware-based things regarding cryptocurrency projects. So, for example, I know that I've seen a lot of people like trying to get to Ledger, trying to get information out of Ledger, whether or not they actually think that this vulnerability affects them, and they've basically just like turned the blind eye from what I've seen. Moxie Marlinspike is actually in the process of advising a new coin called Mobile Coin that puts SGX right at the center. So, I think like, I don't even know, like 6 months ago, we probably started looking at Mobile Coin because we know who Moxie Marlinspike is. The dude's brilliant. And I remember back then I was like, oh dude, I'm totally jumping on that bandwagon for whatever coin he releases, And so I've been following a little bit, and I don't know. I guess like he is going to have to figure out some issues with this vulnerability as well, regarding whatever Mobile Coin is doing.
Yeah, I think the answer to this is defense in depth, like everything else, right? Because so SGX, from what I've gathered with SGX, with regard to Intel, and some other processes, right? Like there's like a coprocessor, at least on some of the ARM processors within like iPhone. The secure enclave is technically like a coprocessor where it's actually storing some of the crypto functionality. That way, if you do escalate like a root privilege in the kernel, it's still isolated by hardware, right? And so this is like a hardware exposed attack surface, and that's supposedly similar to how like Meltdown and Spectre, were like they were able to execute the speculative execution or whatever, where they're actually able to read memory from secure areas despite the different levels. And so I think it's just using that. I'm not sure the difference between this and the other ones. I haven't looked into it.
Would that mean that a cloud-based service provider that's using SGX to protect private keys would be vulnerable to this, and you could possibly steal keys from, if you have a similar VM or whatever on that same cloud provider?
Yeah, so different. So yeah, absolutely. I guess the Foreshadow has two different versions of this, and one of them affects like hypervisors. And so I think that's actually exactly what it's doing, like reading from reading memory and cache. So if you are in like a third-party cloud, but I don't know the details on anything on how it's doing it. Obviously, it's the speculative execution still. It's these new features, so to speak, but it's a hardware problem. So having a mobile coin or having a mobile app that resides on a mobile device that leverages the hardware of this trusted area to have a vulnerability means now you get bigger problems because you gotta fix hardware. So defense in depth would kind of help do that. I mean, this is really where Android. I don't know for iPhone. I don't know how much detail for iPhone, but for like Android devices, you have lots of different levels of security. I mean, from certificate chaining, certificate pinning, to secure boot, to SE Linux, to the ARM processor, to the different areas kind of within there. You have all kinds of different things that are built up, and as long as you're not just relying on this hardware component, and you're actually consuming the security controls that are in place in order to protect it, I think you'll be pretty good. Even when vulnerabilities like this come out, doesn't mean that you're going to be foolproof, but at least somebody reading your private keys from some area of memory won't be as easy.
Sure.
But does it have a cool logo? Sorry. All right. So the next thing is something that Steve wasted an hour of my life today for, because I had to learn a lot about it. And I still feel like I know nothing about it. So there was a new tool released at DEF CON this year. I'm pretty sure you pronounce it. Was it Tineola?
Tineola, I think. Yeah.
Tineola. So this tool is a red team tool for interfacing with Hyperledger Fabric deployment. So I had to go try to figure out what Hyperledger Fabric is, and I think like the article you'd sent me, Steve, was actually a pretty good description of it. But the gist, from what I can tell, is that it's a private, like enterprise level kind of blockchain. Does that sound pretty accurate, like for a Hyperledger Fabric?
Yeah, so it allows you to basically deploy your own internal smart contracts and stuff like that. So it's all,
Nice.
yes, private, which is, at first when I saw this, I posted this pretty quickly. I saw blockchains, destruction, and mayhem.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this looks cool. Another C2, because we talked about another C2 thing that was on Ethereum contracts before.
Mm-hmm.
And the downside to that was that it took gas to actually deploy your agents and stuff like that. So that was on the live Ethereum blockchain, I believe.
So
and this is
you can
for
just set up,
private.
like you could create your own private blockchain with this, and then use those nodes to create a C2 channel.
Or you can use, if you have access to a private blockchain, you could use this as a C2 channel. Yes, you don't have to create your own, or you could create your own just to play with it. Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, you can do everything from set up netcat listeners to do basically SOX tunnels and everything like that. So it's pretty robust. And these, who are these two guys? I want to give credit where credit is due. Stark, Ridizel, and Parisa Hakamian. Oh, there's four of them. Cohen Buins and Travis Bien. So these guys presented at DEF CON this year, and unfortunately, I was already wiped out by day 9, so I didn't stay for DEF CON. But I missed this one. I don't suppose you got to see it, did you, Mike?
Nope.
Nope. So, but if you go to the GitHub, github.com/TINEOLA, they have the DEF CON slides, their white paper, and they have a logo for their app. So it's pretty interesting. And they also mention a peer, like an evil peer attack. So I'm assuming it's kind of like an evil twin attack, except you're possibly gaining access to somebody else's blockchain with it. So I haven't read too much into it. I definitely want to look at it some more. Maybe it's something we can dive into the actual nitty gritty on a future, maybe get our own deployment going.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, let's do that. Sweet. All right, I know we're running out of time here. Let's see. We've only got 2 more stories, and I know that Mike has something to say about the next one for sure. because he seemed excited about this one when I posted it in chat. So, so a guy hacked EA, Electronic Arts, the game company. You know, they make. I remember being like 12 and playing like the most epic like EA games. Like they had the best football games and all kinds of stuff. You know, like, EA Sports was like the thing. So, anyways, somebody hacked EA, and they went to trial, and the judge actually set his bail in cryptocurrency and said, "You, sir, are charged the equivalent of $750,000 in cryptocurrency as your bail. You can pay that in Bitcoin or altcoins."
Well, I think that's because maybe that's something the guy can afford to do, maybe. So he knows that if he just sets the bail at a regular US dollar, the guy's not going to post bail. And maybe they just want to make money off it. I don't know.
So how do you think that transaction goes? Do you think he has to go exchange that and then give them $750,000, or do you think they legit set up wallets and he pays them $750,000 in cryptocurrency?
Well, it says the condition that he posts the equivalent of $750,000 in cryptocurrency.
Okay, so he's going to be paying in cryptocurrency.
He's got to pay in cryptocurrency. Sure.
That sounds pretty doable. I don't know. It just sounds so weird.
And you gotta think that if this guy was hacking, what did it say, like 25,000 accounts,
right?
At EA,
Here, he probably got that cryptocurrency from like Mongox or something.
If he has $750,000 worth of cryptocurrency, he didn't get it legitimately, probably.
But think about this. Is it very clear? Because I could easily get you $750,000 in Ethereum right now. I'll just go to the test net.
Oh, is it clear to the judge if it's real or not?
Did they specify that?
Sure.
Is it very clear that you meant like, and you said cryptocurrency and the value of it? I mean, it's still the value. It's just only good on the test net. You can't use it anywhere, but you could use it on the test net.
So you're trying to play like the the discrepancy and like the actual statements there.
Absolutely. That's what we live by, the rule of the law. And that's how it works.
Well,
especially in a criminal case. It's a criminal case.
But all right, so $750,000 in cryptocurrency, $750,000 on the Ethereum blockchain is not really, or the testnet anyway, is not really like.
Why? I could send you $750,000 in Ethereum on the testnet to your account.
So you're basically playing off the idea that the people who are going to set up the wallets are not smart enough to tell if it's testnet.
100%. 100%. And not just that, even if they did know, if you didn't specify it, you can't go back after the fact and specify it.
So the thing is, this guy's not a U.S. citizen. He's a Serbian and Italian national living in Udine, Italy, and was arrested at San Francisco airport and made his first appearance. So he flew to the country, they nabbed him, and that's probably why they know he doesn't have US dollars. So they said, well, what do you got? I've got cryptocurrency.
I've got Ethereum.
We'll take that. Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll wire it over to you now.
Interesting.
You get that too, right? And then at $750,000 at the time of sentencing, I mean, if you're a defense attorney and you're gonna go a year from now and argue that you were paid in full, one could argue, well, yeah, you're paid in full now, but it dropped, and what was a higher, you have to go based on the current. You can't go based on the past. Right? So now there's another loophole there, because you could just find something that's going to tank. You know what I mean? And if you say, well, you sentenced me on August 16th, and at that time, this currency was worth this, I can't help it was depreciated.
Dogecoin or something. Yeah.
Dogecoin, yeah. You give them $750,000 based on the time at sentencing. Yeah, that's a huge problem. I want to know how they're going to secure it. Like, who's going to manage that? Like, are we going to have, like, I don't know. It just seems interesting, right? I mean, who's going to be managing the wallets for the clerk of court?
Where they're going to store it? I mean, yeah, exactly. Who's going to secure it? Is it just going to be like up on Coinbase somewhere? Like, yeah, dude, send me some Bitcoin. Like,
Well, it
we'll
says
bail you
it's
out.
supposed to be released to a halfway house. If you click through a couple articles from the
So I
main
didn't
article.
TLDR, bro. TLDR.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Well, all right. So next time you get arrested, just tell them you got crypto.
All my assets are in crypto.
All right. Last story for the evening or daytime, whenever you're listening to this. I mean, when are you actually listening to this, people? Are you running like on a treadmill? Are you driving your car? Are you like laying in bed, like thinking about cryptocurrency and want to hear our voices? I don't know.
Tending to your miners.
Attending minors, wherever you are. This is the last story for today. So, crypto. I thought this was kind of. I mean, I hate to think this is funny because it's actually like a kind of a.
It's serious.
It's serious. It's a serious thing, but the way it reads is kind of funny. Okay, so a crypto mining firm in where are they at? A Norwegian cryptocurrency mining firm. They got threatened with a bomb over noise level, and I got so many questions. Like, all right, so first off, how are the miners that noisy? I mean, like, is this town like in a library? Like, I mean, if I have a building with 1,000 miners in them, like, it's not going to be that loud outside of the building. You know?
No, this guy just sounds like quite the nut job, I guess. Because the quote is, if you are expanding crypto mining and filling the country with noise, then you will be sabotaging the peace. I am threatening to send you some explosives.
And the way that reads, just oh my God.
It sounds funny.
Like, I don't know.
Sounds like a great marketing plan.
Isn't Norway the same country where the guy stole a whole bunch of Bitcoin miners and then fled?
I think it was Iceland.
It was somewhere.
I think that was
somewhere
Iceland.
around there. Was it
Yeah.
Iceland?
Yeah, I think so. So, anyways, I mean, there's not really much of a story there. It's just,
It's just.
Who still reads Yahoo Finance? Is that like a thing still?
Actually,
Sorry,
Yahoo has a ticker for Bitcoin, so hope people
Really?
read it. Yeah, yeah. Like go to that article and you'll see it. I mean, BTC USD right there with the the rest of the other stock exchanges.
I'm kind of scared to even go to Yahoo.
I know, right?
Just never know. It feels like going to MySpace, right? You just click it. You just have no idea.
You don't go there anymore. Yeah, you don't go there anymore. No, Yahoo is great for sending malware. It's the best MTA. Send straight through. I can send a raw exe of like Meterpreter through Yahoo.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I remember asking you, dude, how are we supposed to do this?
Yeah, like we
my mail gateway is blocking everything. Oh, just use Yahoo.
So Steve, sometimes we test like to try to see like what we can actually email a customer, and so we'll test like just straight up PowerShell scripts, batch files, encoded stuff. We'll send zipped encrypted stuff, and then we'll literally send executable files like via email, which normally like everything freaking blocks these days. Google blocks like every freaking exe.
But Yahoo's like YOLO, send it.
Yeah, so Yahoo's webmail client does AV, but if you connect directly to the MTA, like with a third-party mail client, like Thunderbird or something, it doesn't check. So you can just straight up send vicious exes through it. Well, that's the last piece of advice for the night.
So real quick on this one, though, before we move on. So if I was a Norwegian cryptocurrency mining company out there and I wanted people to come to me, I would hate for somebody to threaten me with the bomb so that it's all over the news and all over Yahoo Finance and all over the web, everywhere in America, and some CoinSec podcast picks it up and talks about it. Because that would be just horrible marketing, right?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
You make good.
So you're saying it was planned? It was all.
I always have a conspiracy hat on when it comes to these stories. You have to.
Okay, next time we do the episode, you're gonna have to wear a tinfoil hat.
I definitely will do that, especially now.
The only problem is that I don't know. Do you think these people are smart enough not to get caught by whoever the investigators are in that country, because if you do a bomb threat, it's serious shit. I mean, like, you're gonna have in our country especially, like, FBI knocking on your door, Maybe it's like
swatting yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for the media attention. So kids, don't bomb threat yourself.
So, Crypto Vault managing director so-and-so said the anonymous notice was immediately sent to local authorities. All you got to do is email the notification to some law enforcement email, and then local paper is just going to report that, yeah, it was sent to the authorities. Doesn't mean they're doing anything with it.
Sure.
Doesn't even mean it's legit. Who are taking the whole issue very seriously. I don't know.
Well, I think that has been quite the episode for tonight. I'm sad we missed Ralph. I do miss Ralph, but
where was he at? Daycare today or something?
That's what I said. Yes. That's exactly what I said earlier. Oh, poor Ralph. He's gonna hate us. I'm sure he will have words next week. He better be on next week. I mean, I'm sad we missed filming last week, but last week's a busy week. We had Black Hat and DEF CON going on, but we love you guys. Whoever you're listening, whoever's listening, we love you guys. So thank you so much for listening. And we're really trying hard to make these things happen. So if we miss times, just know that we're trying. We're really trying on the backside. So we do have a Slack channel that you should join. And let's see, how many people do we have in there? We have 12, including I think there's 6 of those accounts are ours. So or maybe 5, I don't know. So come join that. That is, Mike, what is the URL for that again? I always forget the actual URL for people to join.
slackpass.io/centralsec.
slackpass.io/centralsec. Come hang out with us, chat. We've got some good chats going on in there. So definitely come join us on Central Sec.
Oh, real quick, you know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about the Gemini party.
Yo, you guys went to a Gemini party?
That was pretty cool. I don't think, Steve, did you ever make it out there? I know your phone was lost.
I had our work party that night. So.
Yeah, and I was trying to get over there, but you guys were on the other side of the strip.
Exactly.
So tell me about this Gemini party. I'm a little jealous.
Did you get showered with Bitcoins when you walked in?
You walk in and they literally fell from the
ceiling. A Bitcoin shower.
Paper wallets just falling from the ceiling.
I do want to say though, especially just with all the exchanges that are being breached and whatever, it's hard for me as a paranoid pen tester to trust an exchange, and I have to say the effort and the quality of technical skill sets that Gemini has is legit, dude. And I'm not just saying that. So
how much did they pay you? Come on,
dude. I got a shirt. I should have worn it.
You went to this party and you're coming back.
I should have worn a shirt.
Totally.
No, dude, I'm not joking. So the Winklevoss twins were there, and that was the coolest part of the whole party. Jackie Stokes was there. She's super awesome. Her and Angela, my wife, kicked it off really well. A guy she works with, I forget his name. I feel really bad right now. He was super awesome. And so, but I did get to meet some of their team, their CISO, very intelligent guy. And just to hear kind of the level of technical skill that they have, I feel better about trusting Gemini. I still haven't signed up yet. I'm waiting for my referral bonus. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, speaking of referral, I got to break in there. We totally are going to steal that hacker typer thing that I showed you.
Oh, yes.
Dude, yes. If you go to the hackertyper.com, have you ever been there, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, isn't it fun? But on his site, he's got Control B to buy Bitcoin, and it's a referral to his Coinbase account. So, anyways, sorry, what were you saying?
But anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. It was a smaller party. It was on top of the Bellagio, in the presidential suite, which was really cool. They had really great food, cool people, great venue. The shirts are pretty awesome, and And
You
so
didn't
yeah,
sign me one of their shirts?
You got one for each of us. Right?
dude, you're standing like next to the Winklevoss twin. You have to like act really cool, right? So you're just kind of like chilling.
So you grab
And then
4
we were
shirts.
looking-
No, so you tell them, hey, guess what? We got a podcast about cryptocurrency. And
I know. I wanted to, but I told
And
you, like,
there's
I don't get down like that, dude. Like, I have a hard time. Like, if I know you, I have no problems, or if I feel comfortable in an area. So, but like, I didn't know anybody else really there. I knew some people. I heard some good stuff about the podcast, and some people that actually listened to the pod. Like, our 8 viewers that we have, or 8 listeners, like they were
They're all Gemini employees?
there.
They're all there.
I think they were all there.
Nice.
No, not really. But no, it was just cool. It was a cool environment. So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, say that. Not that they're paying me or anything yet. Hopefully, we can get them as a second person.
Yeah, that'd be
No,
cool.
just
Well,
joking.
that is awesome. Mike, I know you got to go play some Top Golf, so I'm going to let you go.
Hopefully, play softball.
Hey,
Hopefully I'll get that.
everyone go wish Mike happy birthday, by the way. It's his birthday.
Dude, seriously.
And yeah, tweeted it at him, Slack him, send him some
Send them some
cryptocurrency.
coins.
Yeah.
I'll
I
get
hear,
my Ethereum-
I hear he
my
really,
Ethereum address.
really likes, what was it, Populist coin?
What is that?
What is that?
Never heard that.
Old man coin.
All right, so
Yes.
make sure to follow us on Twitter. We are at CoinSec Podcast on Twitter. Keep an eye on CoinSecPodcast.com for links from the show, which I need to update. Just haven't done that, so sorry about that, guys. And subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like it, leave us a review. That'd be awesome. We will appreciate it. We'd love to hear from you guys. And honestly, like hearing Mike talk about, conversations with other people who actually listen to the show, it really motivates me a lot to like hear that, because like I really don't hear a lot of it. I don't hear much from the listeners so much. So I mean, if you just want to say hey, like pop into the chat and let us know that you're listening. That'd be awesome. And we'll keep on doing what we do. So we'll see you next week, guys.
See ya.
All right. Bye bye.